Good afternoon, everybody. This is Richie coming at you from the historic Blick Plantation, Holly Grove Cemetery. This is the Blick family cemetery that I'm sitting in doing a video. I'm sure my ancestors are rolling over in their grave. Somebody's out here videoing, but I think they've gotten used to me by now. Um, Mark Brewer from Florida came up and helped clean up this cemetery yesterday. He came up Friday and cleaned and worked on it um, Friday afternoon, all day Saturday, half the day today. And I can't thank him enough for doing this. This is his passion. It's not his profession, but he's really good at it. Um, he identified and raised um, quite a few headstones, maybe 30 stones that were buried under the periwinkle. I'll show videos and pictures of all that later. But or at another time. Um, I did some videos. I did an interview with him, and it'll be posted separately. So just look for it if you're interested in this sort of stuff. But I'm really appreciative of it because I didn't have many options. I can't seem to get grant funding for the cemetery, um, and that is a lot of that is based on race. So we can't find funding for this. But what I'd like to do now, since the cemetery, sorry, my nose is itching. I'm dirty. I'm sweaty. But what I'd like to do is uh, raise some money to put some fencing up. Not this fence right here that you see right around this is my immediate family fencing. I don't know how long it's been here. It's like a wavy wire fence. Um, and we did manage to find a gate for it too. But we would like to fence in the whole cemetery with perhaps Civil War type stacked fencing where you don't have to dig because we're not exactly sure of the boundaries and I don't want to disturb anything. So we uh, have identified about 60 graves in here so far. We are unsure of a couple, but we marked them with flags. I'll do pictures and video on that too. But we made so much progress, and I feel like we've been involved in this. We found this cemetery in August of 2023. We purchased the property back in November of 2023. We're not sure where the boundary line is, but we have permission from the neighbor to be here, and Virginia gives you eternal permission for maintenance and all that on the cemetery. So even if most, or all of this cemetery is on the neighbor's property, um, we can still be here and maintain it. She's given me permission anytime I want. So I will be doing some sort of deed with her. Is my plan. So that way we just kind of make it official for future generations to maintain this. And it takes some pressure off of her shoulders too. But we've got to make it safer because of trespassers that walk through the woods. They can fall in these graves. They can damage something. Um, like I said, we've only got about 6 or 6 headstones that are marked with names, and they're all 20th century. All of the prior ones are there's nothing. There's just field stones, and we're detecting a difference in like sections of the cemetery. They've got thicker, more proper and appropriate stones where Dr. Blick is buried, and then off in an older section that's clearly older. Um, it's a much thinner, weaker type of smaller stone, and then you've got your own a different type of stone in here in the my immediate family cemetery. But I'm really proud. I was able to clean their headstones today. Um, I've got this special cleaner, which I'll show on another video, and I was able to scrub these uh, gently and wash them with just some bottled water, and we were able to level this headstone behind me, which is my great great grandparents, and then we were able to get Mary Ella's uh, headstone up off the ground, spun around, facing the right direction, and Mark found the base, so we were able to put it right back on the base where it belonged. So that was a concern of mine, is not knowing exactly where her grave was. There's no significant depression there, but Mark was able to find the footstone for it too. So she's got a headstone and a footstone. So we know exactly where she's supposed to be, and she's whole again. And folks, I know for some people that might not be a big of a deal, but she was a special needs girl. She died about 25 years old. She died 2 weeks after her father, right over here. He died like 2 weeks or 3 weeks after his wife. So all three died within 6 weeks of each other. And it's really important to me because she was special needs, especially to make sure that she's resting at peace. Um, so I feel a little bit of emotion coming on right now. Um, Thankful and blessed to be here and to be helping my ancestors make sure that they're protected and that they're identified for future generations. My dad would be really proud of this. Um, Most of y'all know he passed away June of last year, so it's been 9 months. But I was able to get him back here to the cemetery. There's a picture of him standing here. Um, so he was able to see his ancestors' headstones, and that meant the world to him. That was his final bucket list item, and we were able to do it together, and that means the world. So, anyway, sorry to get emotional, people. Um, I feel like the cemetery is happy today. Saturday, I felt the air was really thick. I just did. I don't know what it was, but I kept having to rest. My arm was hurting really bad. Um, but I just felt like the air was really heavy, and it was windy too. But Mark can attest to that. I don't know what it was, but today the sun is out. They can finally get sunshine on these graves behind me because we cut down quite a few holly trees. I know it's called Holly Grove, but there's plenty of big holly trees here. There's one right that the camera is under now. There's more back here. So there's plenty of holly trees. We don't need them everywhere. Plus the roots damaged the headstones, which was happening. So we took care of all those problems, and I think we have it figured out. And Mark was able to map this by hand, and then he used a app to scan it, to kind of scan the ground and map the whole cemetery. So it's gonna be cool to see what he comes up with in a few weeks when he's back home. But thank you once again, Mark, and thanks, buddy Donnie. Donnie's been there for me. I met him when I went to college at 18. I just turned 52 last week. So I've known that boy a long time, and I needed some muscle. And I called him in today, and he probably, sorry Evelyn, probably put him at in trouble at home, but he came on out, helped us out, and he's already gone back home. So I just wanted to do this wrap video for this weekend. I'm very pleased with the progress. The only thing out here that I have left to do, I have an old cedar tree that I'd like something done with. It was almost fossilized on the outside, but we cut it open. There'll be other pictures and videos on that separately, and it's got a lot of deep red good wood in there. And so if anybody out there has an idea or something that wants to carve something, or that wants to get some, have some way to grind that up, I'd love to grind some of it up, some of the limbs, and the smell is just remarkable. But the last thing I have to do more immediate is I want to clean the Civil War headstone for Dr. Blick. I did not want to use the cleaner that I have on it because that is a marble. These are granite. I'm assuming that's marble. It's white, and I don't know. I need to verify a couple things with Tracy at Sons of Confederate Veterans. They go around and maintain a lot of those Civil War headstones for cemeteries, and I want to get a professional opinion before I touch it. But Mark was able to get it upright and secure, so his headstone is now facing the way that it should be. Um, all we have to do now is clean it. So we'll get to that maybe this summer, and I'll post about that separately. Or, the veterans might want to come out here and do that one. My grandfather was a veteran too. He they were the brothers, and there was a third brother, William, who died at Gettysburg. He was killed at Gettysburg. But Dr. Blick was a hospital steward, which we would know as kind of a pharmacist. And my grandfather, George, was, I don't remember if he was corporal, I think, but he was wounded at Gettysburg. And then he was captured prisoner of war at Hatcher's Run in Petersburg and taken prisoner of war for quite a few months up in Maryland, somewhere around Annapolis. And so he's also a Civil War veteran. And I do want to mark his grave because I think that's a really important distinction. Um, so I'll talk to Tracy about that too. I might even get him a if the next time the Pentagon does these headstones, if we can obtain one, I'd love it marked with his rank and put it as a footstone, if proper. I don't know the etiquette with that, so we'll figure all that out. But folks, this makes me very happy to have this cleared, and it still looks old, but it does not look abandoned anymore, and that's really important. Now we have to mark it, so so people don't just stroll in here and fall into one of the graves. Some of these are 3 feet deep; they've sunken that far. Um, but thanks everybody for tagging along. I appreciate you hanging out and listening at me babble a little bit. But y'all have a great Sunday afternoon.